Hello, 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 Chicago Bears fans. Welcome to the Bears Den podcast number 78. We have a great show lined up for you guys tonight. We're going to discuss the Indiana Bears. Who knows? Free agency, the press conference that was at the Combine today, and much, much more. And as always, please like us, subscribe, follow us, share our content, show us some love. Tell all your family and friends about us and fellow Bears fans. You can find us on Facebook, X, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Don't be shy tonight. Send us your comments. Send us your feedback. We love when the audience interacts with us. And now, let me introduce the rest of the Bears in the Den. I'm Andy. We're joined by Todd, and we are joined by the bad guy, Chicago Clarence. So, how are you guys doing?
What's up?
Doing good.
Not much. So, guys, let's get right into it. Chicago Bears, the press conference today. I called a good amount of it the Combine with Ryan Poles. He basically said Trapillo is going to miss most of the season. That's not good. That's very discouraging. He did say DJ Moore. He didn't say he was going to trade him. He just said we have to keep all of our options open, which is, to me, what a GM should say. So, Todd, Champ, you want to comment on any of those things that were released today before we keep going on the press conference? No? Yes?
I was surprised at a little bit of the candidness of it. I mean, usually, we've been so bad for so long that, when you have a decent player and there's a rumor about moving or whatever, they'll talk about how much they love the player and this and that. And, when the DJ stuff came up, just the, I don't know, we're going to see what's going to happen. He did say, there were some real memorable plays from the season, but definitely they're working that angle, and we all knew they were. But to just come out and say it, or to come out and not just say, oh, we don't want to move on from him, was a little surprising for me. And the candidness on Tyson.
Yes.
I know with Ben Johnson, he was a no, but then, also talked about the player and, getting his chance, not wanting to hold him back. But somebody's going to have to step up with a more than just a, silly 4th, 5th round pick thing for it. I mean, I we talked about it last week being a second. I was initially, lower than that, but I think that's right. I mean, if somebody wants to, but he's cheap first off. So if you want a 1-year starter, you want to give a guy a chance, he's going to be, the lowest price starting guy out there. I mean,
yes, he is.
So, they didn't run from either of those things. And I was, usually you get GM speak or coach speak and they talk around it, and they didn't do that.
I mean, I don't think we can get a 2 for Bagent, but that's where I would start the conversation.
Yeah, well, then I'm happy where he's at then. If you don't want to do that, then that's fine too.
Anything you want to add on that, Clarence?
I mean, just that I think it's smart to mention that you're getting calls for Bagent. You want the price to go up. I'm not moving him for nothing less than a 3rd. I want a 2nd. But I think that it's responsible to look out for the kid and his future. And if he can make more money elsewhere, then you do right by him. But you got to do right by the Bears too. I mean, we talked about this. I think was it last year, or year before last, when he let Justin Fields go, and he said he was wanting to do right by Justin Fields, and that just made me go up in arms, because your first responsibility is to the Chicago Bears. So you get the best deal that you can for Bagent. You wish the kid well, but you got to do right by this team, and we got some significant needs that a 2nd round pick would definitely go a long way in helping fix.
The difference there is we had to trade Justin. Really, I think we had to trade Justin with bringing in Caleb. We don't have to do anything with Tyson. So
no.
So yeah, you either come strong or don't come at all, right? I mean, that's it.
Poles also said today that he wants to keep Wright and Jackson on the same side, that he only wants to use Tooney at left tackle in emergency situations. So that basically means we either believe in Benedict or we need a left tackle this offseason. A starting caliber left tackle for pretty much 1 year. I mean, I hate that but it looks like Trapillo is going to be out for the season. He didn't say it, but he did say he's going to miss most or the majority of the season. That sucks because it looks like we had an offensive line together and ready to go for next season.
Well, most teams will have an injury on the offensive line. Having 5 guys together for a whole season is pretty rare to begin with. But
yeah, it is.
But do you guys think that Benedict is a average starting left tackle in the league? Can he be an average starting left tackle in the league?
I think Benedict was better than Braxton Jones.
Let me ask you guys this.
That's not what I asked.
What happened in the playoffs? You think the Chicago Bears as a franchise believe in Benedict? Because we all thought that was odd that they went with Tooney to left tackle and Jordan McFadden off the bench, who did not take a snap all year at guard.
I feel like that was more about McFadden than it was about Benedict. I think they were real impressed with McFadden. And they wanted to see, and they wanted to see what he could do. Yeah, I think. I don't know. That position is at such a premium that if you're going to draft a guy, even at 25, you're looking at in this year especially. I mean, you might be looking at the first true left tackle at 25 because all the other tackles that are going to go before him, the 3 or 4 or 5 guys, are right tackles that they're hoping to convert or maybe kick into guard. Honestly, so it's not a good draft for that, and you're not going to find that answer in free agency as far as a above average starter. I mean, I think right now Braxton is like the 4th on most lists, like the 4th ranked left tackle in free agency.
So here's the best offensive lineman, and it is sad. You're not going to find a tackle in free agency. You're right. And Linderbaum
is a great player. Other than that,
Ravens said they're going to franchise him today.
Yeah, of course. So they're not. They're going to keep him. Of course they are.
So I mean, it's a sad list when Braxton Jones is in the top.
Yeah. I mean, Elijah Vera Tucker's a good player, but he's hurt all the time, and he's a guard. He's played some tackle, but and he's got to cost a fortune. I mean, the kid from the Packers is looking at like $25 million a year. Rasheed Walker, the Browns are supposedly all in, and he's going to cost 25. He's going to get $100 million deal.
I mean, I don't. So I know Clarence is against this. Do we resign Braxton Jones on a 1-year deal? Anybody? Do we offer him anything just to keep him?
I don't think they like him at all. I think they'd bring in somebody new.
So we got to draft somebody.
Yeah, but still, you're talking about a rookie.
Yeah, you are. So I think if I'm Chicago, I invest in Benedict. Honestly.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I try to get this kid up and running. And truly, that was his rookie season last year. The first year he was injured, he didn't play at all. So truth be told, that was really his rookie year last year.
And
so
money wise, we have to bring in somebody young because we're spending so much money across the rest of the line because we've got to, we've got to do a deal for Darnell. So, there's no money left for a premium. If there was a premium left tackle in free agency, there's no money to pay him.
I agree with you 100%. So, and also Ryan Poles said today that damn it, didn't want to do that the comp picks are not dead. That they basically filed agreements or whatever you want to call it. So the NFL has not ruled on the comp picks, so that's really good. So we could end up getting 2 third-round picks in return. So it looks like it's going to be 2026 and 2027. So that's really good that he at least is. And truthfully, Champ, don't they owe us comp picks? I mean, Atlanta is putting this guy as a GM. I mean, Ryan Poles is basically saying, Matt Ryan's basically saying, Ian Cunningham is basically saying he's going to be a GM. Why are we not getting comp picks? It's just language that they're using to avoid it.
The moment that Matt Ryan went on air and went on record saying that Ian Cunningham is the football decision maker, then we are entitled to our comp picks. Plain and simple. That's the rule. And I think the Chicago Bears are, for the first time in a very long time, being prudent and taking care of business. Because if it was any franchise that this would happen to and they would let it slide, it would be the Chicago Bears, because we haven't always handled our business. You know, one topic we're going to talk about later with the stadium is a
Yes,
prime
we are.
example. So for the first time in a long time, they're being prudent about their business, and they have to. We just can't sit down and let the NFL roll over us and screw us the way they are trying to do.
Todd, would you like to add anything to the comp pick situation?
He was. I was pretty impressed with him today talking about it. Yeah, and he said he never heard anything directly, and he would be the guy that or Warren would be the guy that they would need to contact. I know it's been all over that it's over and it's not going to happen. At least that's what it's been for the last 2 weeks.
Right.
But and then I heard somewhere that they haven't even assigned the comp picks that comes out on was it, I think we said the 11th, the league year, when they announce all that. So there's still a chance that it could be in this draft. And that's kind of where this draft has got some talent in the 3rd and 4th and 5th round that's interesting. So it wouldn't be a bad year to still get in on it. But I'll take them any year, obviously. But that whole thing stinks. It doesn't make any sense to me.
No, it doesn't. So in other news, since our last show, the Chicago Bears are increasing their ticket prices by 13.5%. This came out since we did our last show. My take is I can't be surprised. We were winning last year. We sold out every game.
Mm-hmm.
Why not increase the ticket sales? I know, Champ, you hate when they do this, so I'll let you go first on that one.
Well, they are the 5th highest average ticket in the NFL. It's the 2nd year in a row that they've raised the ticket prices, and I think it's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
You want to ride on the coattails of a successful season, and then you want to sit there and raise ticket prices on fans who have supported you through some very tough times. And once again, what have you given us in place of costing us more money to go watch you play? And it bothers me. Now, it's going to be very hard for you to find Clarence sitting in a stadium in Chicago watching the Bears play, especially if it's cold outside. So this doesn't even really affect me directly, but it's just for the simple fact of the fans. It bothers me for the people who got season tickets, who go and support this team and supported them in some very troubling times. And what did we get from it? We have one successful year in a decade, and you raise ticket prices again, and it's because everybody expects you to. You think it's the right thing to do? No, it's not. No, it's not. I don't even want to get on my rant about the stadium not being done once again, but this is the stuff that bothers me. As a franchise, we don't do the right thing. And I don't think that they should be raising ticket prices. And the only way, which we know it'll never happen, but the only reason why the only way we can hold it is we stop going. We stop selling out. That'll never happen.
No.
But I'm just saying, it bothers me that just because you can do it doesn't mean you should.
Right.
I mean, I wasn't shocked.
No.
I wasn't shocked at all. Coming off a successful season like this.
None of us are shocked. Anybody, is it the right thing to do? Is my thing. That's my point. That's my grievance. Is it the right thing to do? No, it's not. You raised ticket prices when we went 4-8, for God's sake. I mean, come on. I mean,
agree.
We went 4 games. I'm sorry, we went 4-13. We went 4 games and you raise ticket prices. They still go out there and support you. Then you go and you spend the money to get Ben Johnson. Fine, I understand that. I know that money has to come from someplace. But to go again with the average ticket price is $541 to go watch a Bear game in a smallest stadium in the league? Give me a break.
I'm glad you're talking about stadium because since our last show, we are now trending towards becoming the Indiana Bears. Todd, I'll let you. I do not think this is going to happen, but Todd, I'll let you go first. What are your thoughts on this one?
This is the furthest they've pushed this this regular bluff that they use. You know, what's really aggravating about it? So the governor's in favor of it, and they pushed it through the Indiana House, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, that should have been one of the easier parts of it, and Indiana understands that. I think that I doubt they expect to get it, so it's kind of an easy vote for them. It was a unanimous vote, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was.
And they expect it to pass I guess the Indiana State Senate too would be the other half that has to vote on it. But then they have to find a place. The hard part should be finding the place, and we already have the place that we own, you know, in Illinois. So I still think that's what's going to happen, but it did get more interesting. Usually this bluff is called pretty early, but they're dragging this one out. They've had a lot of time to get this through the Illinois, through the government side of this thing. You know, it's insane that it's gone on this long.
I mean, my take is they're playing poker, but somebody's got to bluff. The last thing the McCaskies or Warren wants is for Illinois to say, go, bye. We're not going to match this. We're not going to try to match this. And they really don't want to go. That would be a disaster.
I mean, and you know, everybody's going to blame everybody else, but Illinois is saying that the Bears canceled that meeting. I mean, there was a meeting canceled that morning. It's the same day that Indiana said yes, you know, for sure. Let's on a unanimous vote through the House. The state of Illinois said the Bears, they had a meeting scheduled and said that they canceled it, and they may have.
Let me say something. Aren't the McCaskies responsible for this too? I mean, in the 80s and 90s and 2000s and 2010s, they saw that the landscape in NFL was changing. Teams were owning their own stadium and getting out of this rent deal.
Yeah.
So shouldn't the McCaskies have had some like foresight and seen, hey, we need to start looking at stadium? They should have been doing this in the 80s and 90s. Looking to get out of Soldier Field. The
big jump was when they built that stadium in LA, and the Chargers left San Diego, and they're running two teams out of that. That everybody's seen that and is like, oh, this is possible. Let's, you know, then we all want to do that, you know, but it'd take a pretty solid market. I mean, Chicago could certainly do that, and they bought the land. I mean, they've owned the site 5 years. This has been a long time process, and yeah, I mean, I don't know, the 80s, you know, that goes back prior to the renovations if you go back that far. So
yeah, I mean, they should have never renovated it. Yeah. They should have been looking to move then.
They didn't have a location, and their bluff was Indiana back then.
So Chicago, Clarence, I know you got something to say on this stadium deal, so go ahead.
I just think it's shame on the Bears. It's shame on the Illinois lawmakers for this not getting done. And each side can point to the other side and shout blame all you want to, but it's both of their fault. You know, Illinois told Chicago that it's not at the top of our list, and they sat there and let it sit there for a year before they even addressed it. I blame them for that. But where we went wrong at is we went up there and we bought that property in Arlington Heights before we even had a deal with the Illinois lawmakers.
We did.
The framework of a deal done. And that's just stupid. That's pulling the cart before the horse. Makes no sense to do it that way. So the moment you did that, Illinois had you. You have no leverage. So you sitting up there and you're playing your jokers and you haven't even played your aces yet. Makes no sense. You don't play cards that way. So when you get down to this right here, and now the lawmakers want to talk about, where the Bears canceled the meeting. You know why the Bears canceled the meeting? Because you sit there and you gave them guidelines of a framework of a deal that you think that they have no choice to take. And they're showing you that they do have choices. Now, do I want to go to Indiana with this team? No. I
No,
would
me
like
either.
for us, to put our big boy pants on and act like we are an NFL franchise and own our own stuff like other people do. The land that they're talking about out there in Indiana is the middle of an industrial place. You don't play football like there were people trying to eat hot dogs and smelling cow manure at the same time. Nobody wants that. So you got to have a better spot picked out for this. And it's time that they sit down and they get this done. Kevin Warren, you are staring in headlights too long and you're trying to play chicken. It's been going for 3 years. 3 years you've been at this. You were brought in to get this done. And you're no closer to getting it done than you was on day one of your tenure. And that's the reason why McCaskey is pissed off at you. Because you are not doing the job you were brought in here to do. Plain and simple. I don't care whose fault it is. It's everybody's fault at this time. And who suffers? The fans.
Did Warren get any time today? Did he speak at all out of house hall or anything? Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, I personally don't think McCaskey's going to leave Illinois. No. I would think George House is rolling over in his grave over. That's all.
And I think Illinois believes that also. But still, it's a gamble. But I think that deep down they know that that this is a bluff.
Yeah,
but it's all just about money. Just work out a deal. My God,
it is
it's been
about
a
money.
long time.
It's about money.
I know.
So, guys, let's talk about the state of the roster on the offensive side tonight before we sign off. So, quarterback position. I think we all can agree that we don't need to make any changes at quarterback. Caleb Williams was brought here to be the starter. He is the starter. Case Keenum is a free agent. Tyson Bagent, there's all kind of trade talk about him. Ryan Poles owned up to it today. Clarence, I'll start with you. Would you make any changes at quarterback? I think this is pretty easy.
No.
Todd? I mean, depending on what you can get for Tyson, we've talked about that. But no. There's not going to be any changes.
So my question is, do you trade Bagent? Because now you're going to open up a hole on the roster because then you're going to need two quarterbacks.
If I
number
can,
2 and a number 3.
If I can get that number 35 pick from Arizona, if they're the team, then
I'd do it in a heartbeat.
I'd make that trade for sure. I'd figure out a backup, and we need to draft another one for the practice squad anyway. But Case Keenum will be available if we want him. I mean, there's names out there, but
yeah.
Caleb has been pretty. He got knocked around a lot last year where he's limping around and then shakes it off and goes. He's been pretty durable.
So running back room, we got Monangai under contract next year. We got Hankins under contract next year. We got Britton Brown under contract. And then we got the 2 cap cuts, Roschon Johnson, DeAndre Swift, and Travis Homer is a free agent. So Clarence, would you move on from Swift or Roschon?
Yes, I'll move on for both of them, but it depends on what I'm looking at in the draft. I mean, we have options. If we had to pay another $1 million or $2 million a year and get Breece Hall in here, I would do that. Breece Hall is a home run hitter. He's a home run hitter.
He's off the market. The Jets announced today
they're going
to franchise him.
Oh, they're gonna franchise tag him. So that's
what they said today at the combine. That's what they said.
It's been trending that way.
That's one option. Then you have the guy coming out of the draft that I love, and Jadarian Price. I love him. Particularly if we were to be able to get one of those comp picks, that's right around in the range where we can pretty much draft him. And I think bringing him in is an upgrade over Swift and cheaper.
That or you can use that to maneuver around a little bit. You may have to be a little higher than that, but you can make moves, especially if there's I don't want to. We can get all kind of second, third round picks if we can make these trades, but it just replacement wise and free agency. Rico Dowdle had a pretty good year. It probably cost about the same money.
So would you? Let me stop right there,
Yeah.
Todd. Would you move on from DeAndre Swift to sign Rico
I
Dowdle for the
don't
same money?
I don't
wouldn't do it.
think I would, no, because he knows the system, he knows the offense. He was solid, but that's kind of where you're at. I mean, the top 2 or 3 guys in free agency are going to cost more than that. So, I just I don't think that they're necessarily the long-term answers. I know that Kenneth Walker had a good Super Bowl, but I don't, you need to draft a future running back. So, and we have too many holes defensively to be thinking about drafting a running back too high. I mean, if Price fell to the 3rd round, I'd be all in favor of that for sure.
So would you move on from Swift personally, Todd?
Not for that money, no.
No, I wouldn't move on from Swift either. Roschon, I think it's a foregone conclusion he's going to get cut, but you're only going to get $1 million back. He's not really going to.
I am really trying to understand y'all love affair with DeAndre Swift. I don't see it. I don't see it.
I mean, I think Todd said it best. Okay, you can go sign Rico Dowdle. Okay, that's fine. But if you sign him for $8 million, you cut DeAndre for $8 million.
You're the same money.
Yeah, you're at the same money.
And
Rico Dowdle's not the guy.
No, I'm not saying he is or isn't. I'm just saying.
But
if you're asking me if I had to pick between the two, I'm not taking Rico Dowdle over DeAndre Swift. I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is, if I wanted to move off of DeAndre Swift, then it's going to be somebody who brings something to the table that he doesn't have. I'm talking about home run ability and willing person to run through between the tackles, breaking tackles. We watch football together every week. How many times did this guy get hit and he can't wait to fall? We need somebody that's willing to get tough yardage. Even after hit, running through contact, he does not do it.
So, but if assuming we take an offensive tackle at 25, you're going to take a running back in the 2nd round? I mean, I
don't want to take an offensive tackle at 25. I want McDonald from Ohio State.
Yeah, well, that's
a bigger need.
Good too, but safety is probably a bigger need than running back this year. I mean, I'm all about Price in the 3rd round, and that could happen, but and mostly from a returner standpoint, from what I understand, that's the biggest, the biggest.
He can do both.
Yeah.
He can do both, but I don't want my starting running back returning kicks either.
I mean, the ETN is an option. He's a free agent, but you're probably going to have to pay him more, and then you're going to be tied to him for 2 to 3 years. The beauty of Swift is that this is it. After this year, he's done, and all of his money's gone. And if you have taken Price in the 3rd or found another back even later in the draft, then you're paying this guy almost nothing, and that's where you need to be with running backs, unfortunately.
And when we brought Swift in, all 3 of us was questioning why. It was like the first day of free agency. We're like, why are you even giving him that money?
It was in the first 5. It was in the first 5 minutes of free agency. We're like glued to it because we're so bad. We're glued to free agency, and the question was, I think the text was why
are we doing it?
Right.
So I mean, we could theoretically keep DeAndre Swift till 6-1. He doesn't count till 6-1. So we theoretically can draft a running back or strike out and then make a decision on Swift.
Yeah. I mean, Monangai was fantastic, and I really like him as the second back in that role. Do you see him as being a lead back or a number 1 back on this team in the next year or 2?
Who, Darren Price?
No, Kyle Monangai.
No, I don't.
Yeah, but I think he's a really good companion piece to another back.
Yeah, he's a good number 2, but he ain't a number 1.
And he's league minimum. I mean, so
that's the key.
Yeah.
That's the key. So let's move on to tight end. So here's another one. No, don't start arguing, guys.
It's a crowded room.
We have Komet, Loveland, and Carlson under contract. Smythe is going to be a free agent. And we have Nikola Kalinick. I can't even say his name. on the practice squad.
Kalinick, I guess.
Yes, Kalinick. So,
Yeah.
guys, would you make a move at tight end, especially when it comes to Cole Kmet? Here's another one that we could cut and save $11 million. He's $11 million this year, $11 million next year. Todd, I'll let you go first.
I think Cole's a perfect restructure candidate to free up money.
would
We can
too.
get his number down to 5.5, $6 million. You're saying, okay, if I do that, then Cole's going to be around for 2 to 3 years. I'm fine with Cole at that number for 2 to 3 years. I think that's as good as you're going to get as a number 2 tight end for that money. And I think he's the longest tenured, him and Jalen, I think, Johnson.
Yes.
They came in together. So I would probably offer Smythe the minimum again and let the other 2 guys fight for the practice squad spot.
Yep. Clarence, would you make any changes at tight end?
Finally, you guys are making sense. We agree on something. He is perfect candidate to restructure. And I don't even mind if we add another 2 years on it and lower his cap figure for this year. I am 100% agree with that. And I don't have a problem with offering Smythe a team-friendly deal to keep him around for another year as well.
For sure.
I mean, Cole Kmet is still in his prime.
Mm.
I couldn't let him walk out the door either. I mean, I understand why people are saying he's an overpay because he's a number 2 tight end now, and he is, but that doesn't mean you can't restructure, lower the numbers, and extend him out.
Right.
And he wants to be a Chicago Bear.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the kind of player we need here. Now we get into wide receiver. So we have a lot of wide receivers that I really like. And the biggest one is DJ Moore. Rome Odunze, we have under contract. Luther Burton, we have under contract. Maurice Alexander, we have under contract. Ja'Day Walker, we have under contract. And Ismay, we have under contract. And JP Richardson, we have under contract.
Mm-hmm.
And Oz and Dunnervay are both free agents. This is where the heat starts. Get in the kitchen, turn the heat up. Todd, would you do anything different here?
Oh yeah, for sure. So I think you have to address DJ. There's a chance you restructure DJ, but I think they're going to really try to move him because you have to. There's been a lot. I've heard a lot of talk about the Giants thing again. Trying to work a trade there also because they have an abundance of edge players. We have an abundance of wide receivers. They need one. Their second wide receiver is a free agent, which they may lose, and so all that makes sense. So I'm doing my best to work the Max Crosby trade. If there's anything to that, I think the Raiders are stupid if they do that. But if there's anything to that, they need to turn over every stone with that. But the Thibodeau trade to the Giants makes sense to me. The Giants can turn around and restructure him. We have to do one of 3 things. We've got to, we either one of 2 things. We have to trade him or restructure him. If we restructure, I don't feel as good about 3 years to DJ as I do about Cole, which we just talked about. But if we have to do that, then I that's okay, I guess. I would rather move on and try to pick up, an edge rusher for him.
So Clarence, let me ask you, if you're a GM, what's more important to you, an elite edge rusher or a wide receiver? Because I think the Raiders are stupid if they trade Max Crosby, but what would you do? Would you actually trade Max Crosby for DJ Moore?
Well,
if you're a
this
GM,
is the thing. If I'm a GM, this is the problem that the Raiders have is they're drafting what they think is their franchise quarterback.
Right.
He's got to have somebody to throw the ball to, or you're stunting his growth. You got to get somebody in there he can throw the ball to. And I don't consider DJ Moore a top-notch wide receiver, but he might be the best available and a very viable option if they drafted Mendoza for him to throw the ball to. And to get rid of somebody who does not want to be there, which is what they're talking about, through all the back channels, it would make sense for the Raiders, but it would be awfully stupid. I mean, trading him over, there are some better deals out there on the table to move Max Crosby than for us to give up DJ Moore and even a first-round pick. I mean, they can just some of the stuff that people, the options they would have, like the Cowboys, for instance. I mean, I think George Pickens would make a whole lot more sense of dealing Max Crosby to the Cowboys and getting George Pickens in return than dealing them to us and getting DJ Moore. But it's very important that they get him somebody to throw the ball to.
Are they talking about Pickens?
Yeah, that was just some of the things that was out there on the table, because the Cowboys really don't have the money to pay him. So they got to do something. But they can, but it's going to be. You're talking about, is getting Max Crosby going to be the missing piece to them winning the Super Bowl? And there's still some questions there. And their defensive line started playing better. They got a new defensive coordinator in there. You put Max Crosby on that D line with what Dallas has now, and they start to be a little bit more formidable. We know they can score, but if you lose Pickens, now your offense takes a hit. So
they can go over the cap and franchise Pickens. It's not a problem. And it doesn't make sense that they trade Micah Parsons in his prime to pick up an older player in Crosby. I mean, if I'm the Raiders, I would probably prefer Pickens, but at 25, it's going to be a good wide receiver on the board, and you add DJ, but now you're bringing in, a 2 and a 2, and DJ's not a 1, but you're bringing in 2 quality receivers, with Mendoza. They have other areas to address. Everybody does, but
the Raiders do have Brock Bowers. And he is very good. And they have Ashton Jenkins. They have some pieces in place on offense.
Yeah. And
and that's the reason why it would make sense to move Crosby.
If they're going to
you can get some capital.
Yeah. If they're going to lose anyway, might as well have a high-powered offense for the fans, right? That's, you start over, but you have some pieces. So I can see it. The Giants is the same scenario, with the young quarterback, and Neighbors.
It actually makes more sense for the Giants too.
Yeah.
Neighbors is great, but he ain't going to be ready at the start of the season.
Right. But when you got those 2 guys together, especially, if they lose their guy in free agency, it's and they could restructure him also, and they have money. They're well under the cap, so. And
they're not high on Thibodeau either. So it's
right. He's a number 2 edge, so we're going at bat with 2 number 2 edges, but it's better than what we have right now.
Yeah.
I'd rather us got Brian Burns instead of Thibodeau, but
that's
just me.
Yeah, I don't think that's on the table.
So would either you guys re-sign Oz or Duvernay?
Yeah, Duvernay in a pinch to return kicks if you had to. If you can't,
it's in a pinch. I would want to upgrade in that position.
Yeah. He was okay as a returner. Wasn't
he? Just okay.
Yeah, the guy that I love Luther, but in that scenario, when you move Walker to wide receiver 3, I really like that.
Yeah, I do not want to bring Oz back. I want Walker to get snaps.
Yeah, Oz I would.
And I want Burton to get more snaps. I do not bring Oz back.
Duvernay has a chance to be the 6th receiver return.
I would bring him back because he has flexibility. He can return kicks, he can return punts, and he can play wide receiver. And that's what you need out of your 6th receiver, a flexible guy.
Mm-hmm.
So now we get into the offensive line. So Ryan Bates, Ricky Stromberg, and Braxton Jones are all free agents.
Yeah.
Jordan McFadden, I could not find any information on his contract. That's why I have a question mark.
Let's see.
And Joe Tooney, Jonah Jackson, Dahlman, Darnell Wright, Armagaji, Luke Norman, Herkel, and Trapillo and Benedette are all under contract. And obviously Trapillo is going to be out. It could be the entire season the way it looks. I remember us poaching McFadden off the practice squad from the Chargers. I do recall that. So, Clarence, I'll start over with you. What needs to change in this offensive line?
First and foremost, tackle. Yeah, first and foremost, we need depth at that L tackle position, and I do think that's a need. It's not the biggest need, but it is a need. I, for one, thought that Benedict did an admirable job when he played there. Now, when Trapillo went over there, it was things that Trapillo did well. I think Trapillo was better in run blocking. Benedict is better in pass blocking. So you lose something, but you gain something else. You put Benedict in there, and I'm not. And this is only because of depth. But you bring Baxton Jones back on a team friendly deal for on a 1 year, 2 year deal, and it's just because out of necessity.
What 1 year deal?
You got to.
So
At this point,
so McFadden is a restricted free agent, so we control him. So he'll be back.
Yeah,
He'll be back.
yeah, but you know we need the depth, and the reason why I say that is because I do not want to go into off season. Well, next season with the defensive line presently constructed, and I do not want to use the capital that we have right now to address the offensive side of the ball, particularly the line, before we get an edge rusher and before we get a 3 technique in here. And now we need safeties as well. We have got to use our capital on defense. And if it means swallowing my pride and biting my tongue and bringing Braxton Jones, sorry, behind back here for another year, I would do it. But it's got to make sense for me. Because if he thinks he's going to go out there and get paid, he's sadly mistaken.
He might. I mean, he might.
Paid.
I mean, what number? If somebody offers him $5 million, you going to do that?
No. I'm not giving him $5 million.
Just based on experience, he'll probably get that. He might get more.
Yeah.
Just based on games started, it's got a value to it.
That would be the same thing as giving Deshaun Wright the money that he's seeking simply because of you know what he brings, or Gardner Johnson.
Right.
You know, who started more games than him. You know, but you're going to overpay that for those positions? No. This is the reason why we're saying no.
I'm not going to overpay Gardner Johnson. I'm going to pay Gardner Johnson. I'm going to try to pay him under $3 million. Deshaun Wright's going to get paid. Somebody's going to get paid. Somebody's going to get paid.
I thought we offered him too much money for him to say no.
Yeah, I think that I'm going to be surprised if Deshaun Wright doesn't get, 4 years, 40, a big number that we can't touch.
Yeah. No, we're not going to be able to touch Deshaun Wright. So what we have to really hope for, I think I don't want to draft the first round tackle also because, if there's one worth anything, he's going to go higher than 25 because it's such a premium position. So you're going to have to just Benedict, and you're going to have to hope that Amagaji can develop, that this group can do something with him. I don't know. I mean, he's a big body. I know they talked about kicking him inside, but we need a swing. You've got to have a swing tackle. You do. And I don't want to pay Braxton Jones $5-6 million, and I think he'll get that. I mean, I don't know. Amagaji got put on injured reserve, and he wasn't even playing. How do you do that? I know. Look, it's the same thing with Braxton. They didn't want to pay him. They didn't want to play him for nothing. I think they would pull the trigger on developing somebody off the practice. I mean, that's the reason we have a practice squad, right? See if somebody can play, but you're going to have a swing tackle, and a good swing tackle probably makes in the $12 million range. And Braxton Jones ain't that guy, but somebody will probably give him a shot to be. I mean, Amagaji's giving us nothing. That's
nothing.
He's given us nothing in 2 years.
Our swing tackle is Joe Tooney kicked out of position
in an emergency,
and then Jordan McFadden playing guard. That's the scenario today.
Yes.
I mean, Amagaji missed 6 games sitting on the bench. I don't even understand how that's even possible. How do you get hurt and you're not even activated? Please explain that to me.
I mean, I'm all for restructuring these guys, but not to waste money on free agent tackles. They're so expensive. You just can't do it.
No, I agree with you. So, guys, here are the big names of free agents. Any of these names interest you? Obviously, at the top of the board is Trey Henderson. Breece Hall is officially off. They said at the combine today they are going to franchise him.
I can't really see this. I don't have my binoculars, so I can't see this list.
Jalen Phillips, who we could have traded for last year.
Yeah.
Devin Lloyd.
I would pay Cam Curl some money because we need a safety, and he's pretty good. John Franklin Myers is worth some money to us.
What about Mika Fitzpatrick?
Yeah, well, Mika, they're talking about trading him. They'd have to do a restructure on him. If I can get him for us, they're cleaning house. I mean, if it's almost nothing, if it's if it's a 6-7 swap or a 5th straight up, I would do it, but then you're gonna have to. He's a $15 million guy. You gotta get his number down to 7 or 8, so you have to extend him out 2 or 3 years. But yeah, he's a good player, But
Jalen Phillips last year, we could have maybe had him at the trade deadline.
Yeah, he went for a 3rd as a rental.
Yes.
He's so injured all the time. He's probably only going to get a prove-it deal, so there's a chance we could get Phillips.
I would think Dave Owa is going to be back with the Chargers.
Yeah, because they spent draft capital to get him. Mafe is not a sack guy. He's no better than what we have.
My favorite free agent is right there, John Franklin Myers.
Yeah.
You plug him in at defensive tackle, now you have something. Yeah. Alante Taylor.
Yeah. Leo Chenal's the guy that the Chiefs took with the comp pick that they got for Poles.
Yeah,
he's available.
I mean, like we said earlier, Travis Etienne. But to me, if you're going to pay him $8 million, why would you cut Swift and pay him $8 million?
And then he's on the roster for 2 more years.
Yeah.
It's just. I mean, he had a good year last year, but it's a contract year, and you gotta,
Yeah, but Etienne's not an upgrade to me over Swift.
No, I don't think so either.
No.
I mean, I don't want to throw money at running backs. I mean, I would draft Love, and I'd be okay with paying him. But that's going to be a top 10 pick, and we're not going to get there.
I mean,
yeah, the only guy, Hendrickson is a 2-year solution, maybe to help. I'm okay with that.
And that helps us.
Up to about 23, 24 million, I'm okay with that. If we restructure the right way, I'm okay with that. It's not my first choice. It's my 3rd choice. I would rather do either of the DJ trades than to sign Hendrickson.
But I'm gonna get really radical on you guys, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what I've been toying around with. Now, hear me out.
Go ahead.
What if we just totally redid both our edge rushers?
Yeah.
We traded Sweat for Crosby, brought in Hendrickson, and went that route, and we still get to keep our 25th pick.
Yeah.
And you draft a D tackle. Because it's one thing. How many times have we complained about Sweat not being able to earn the money that he's making? I think that Crosby is an upgrade over Sweat.
Of course. Yeah, no, he is.
So the money almost matches up, and we're upgrading at the position. And if we bring Hendrickson in, we're upgrading over that position. Then we take our 25th pick, we draft that D tackle, and we have pretty much almost totally revamped our defensive line. We're a better defense just by making those 2 moves.
Yeah, I don't think the Raiders would have any interest in that. I mean, unless we throw DJ in that plus additional capital of some kind. But I'm not opposed to making a move on Sweat. Also,
if you throw DJ in there,
I'm open to that.
Yeah, so if the Raiders said no to that, that's fine. If they wanted to have a wide receiver, but then we get to ask for capital back. My thing is we can have our cake and eat it too by upgrading our defensive end position, and we don't have to give up our 1st round pick. Now, if the Raiders said no and they asked for that 1st round pick and we trading them Sweat, the answer is hell no, not doing that. Okay. But if you want DJ and Sweat, you give us Crosby and like a 4th or 5th round pick, I do that deal.
Yeah. That would free up the cap room we need too.
I'm not opposed to moving on from Sweat though. Either way, it doesn't have to be the Raider scenario. If it makes sense, we could bring in.
Well, I'm doing it because I want Crosby.
Yeah, no, I want Crosby as much as anybody, but I, and I hold out some hope for Booker, but you still have to have rotation. You need more than just two guys. I mean,
Yeah, but we get to keep Booker. Yeah, we get to keep Booker.
Yeah,
Booker's more of a first defensive end off the bench.
We'll
He's
see.
not
Yeah, he's
heavy.
not a starter.
He's not heavy to stop
He's
the
gained
run.
weight. I mean, he's had to. That's the problem with all these guys coming in. The guys that are twitchy and quick that everybody wants. They're 245 pounds, and in our scenario, they don't play the run. But again, that's the 4-3 versus the 3-4.
I mean, I would like Zion Young for Missouri. He's the best edge setter they set in the draft at defensive end.
Well, maybe he'll continue to have enough personal issues that he'll be around in the second round, and that's a chance. There's a chance that happens. This week will be interesting.
Yeah, to say the least. I mean, you guys expecting us to do anything this week? Next week?
I expect.
I'm still expecting Edmonds to get cut.
Yeah, no, they might be trying to explore a trade or some sort of restructure trade or something, but it has to happen.
Yeah, it's still cutting Edmonds makes the most sense. That puts us under the cap right now. If you cut just one player.
Well, we'll get under the cap. That's not a problem.
All right, guys. So let's head into our final thoughts. As always, thank you for watching. You can find us on Facebook, X, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. My final thoughts are I'm ready for free agency. I'm eager to see what we're going to do. I personally don't think we're going to swing big. Ryan Poles said it today that the money is going to be limited on the defensive line. But we got to do something because Deo and Shamar Turner are not going to be ready to start the season. So we're super thin at defensive line. And next week we will talk about the defense on our show. So Todd, what are your final thoughts?
I'm just excited about the combine week. Is always a lot of fun. Guys come out of nowhere, and you get surprised on weights and length and hand size and all that good stuff. There's always somebody that is injured and doesn't know it. Like, you have a torn this or torn that you've had forever and you played through and you didn't know. So it's always a fun week for me. I spent hours watching that stuff. I remember we texted a lot last year. I was, and some of the smarter moves happened. I got excited about the Eman Wari thing, and now he has a Super Bowl ring last year. I was pretty strong in that with him going in the second round, we wouldn't be in the safety problem we're in right now this year. But and then Clarence, we had another safety that we really liked out of Notre Dame last year that they didn't do. So, we have some foresight on some of this stuff, but nobody calls and asks our opinion. I'm just shocked by that.
They should.
Yeah.
So bad guy Chicago, Clarence, what's on your mind?
Ryan Poles is on the clock.
Yes.
He is on the clock, and for a number of reasons. Number one, you guys have already exploited the fact that you had a winning season and you went up on ticket prices, doing it to your fans. We look like a laughing stock around the league with our inability to get our stadium project done. But you're on the clock because Caleb Williams has 2 years left, and people around the league are starting to drink the Kool-Aid. But you know what that means, Ryan Post? That means Caleb Williams' price is going up.
Yes.
So with that said, you have got to take advantage of the 2 years left on his rookie deal, and we have got to at least play for a Super Bowl. Plain and simple. And the way to do that is you have got to help this defense out. We cannot roll into next year with the schedule that we have filling the defense that we got. We've got too many holes to fill. We got too many positions that we need to upgrade at. Defensive tackle, edge rush, safety, and people need to start thinking about if we need another cornerback because we just can't depend on Gordon. So you're on the clock, Ryan Poles. I hope that you take this time at the combine to really find a couple gems in the rough because you need it because the clock's ticking And once we have to start paying Caleb Williams, then we're going to be really handicapped and handcuffed of what we can do to improve this football team.
Caleb Williams, how much you think he's going to get?
Whatever
He's
the
gonna be
highest in
60,
the league
70?
is, it's whatever he'll end up being the highest paid player in the league.
60.
Deal.
I'm thinking on the average 60 to 65 million, unless you do something what the Cleveland Browns did, which is probably the route that I would go. Have his cap hit somewhere in the 50s and just guarantee his full contract.
Yeah.
They did with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Well, guys, like I said, next week we're talking about the defense, and whatever else happens between now and next week, we'll bring that up too. Again, thank you for watching. Until next time, peace and bear down.
Bear down.